What is up, YouTube, and welcome to a new season of Behind the Wall, still, as always, presented by Perky Jerky. I am Kane Jr. 88, and once again I am being joined by my two favorite best friends slash cohorts slash whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're just a couple of knuckleheads anyway. Thermite 917, and the man formerly known as Junior Nation 5788, now known as Pro Bowl 43, and it is the dawn of a new NASCAR season as the 2018 NASCAR season is officially underway. We ran the Clash at Daytona International Speedway, and also we set the field for the duels at Daytona, as well as the front row for the 60th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Gentlemen, today's Clash was very lackluster, to say the least. The first half was great, but the second half, not so much. Gentlemen, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, the first half of the race was some of the best plate racing I've seen in a while. They were just going at it. The cars were tough to handle. The bubble of air that we've seen in past plate races where you get to a guy and you can't pass them and stuff, that seemed to be basically gone. You could get huge runs on guys, get right to the back bumper, give them a good shove, and you could just fly past the guy. So the passing was there, the opportunities to make things happen were there. I know the leaders still kind of had a lot of control. Austin Dillon led a few laps, but they were just racing so hard. Kyle Larson made an amazing save going into turn one. I don't know how they didn't wad him up there, but I mean, that just goes back to the handling. He just said he got loose. Then they had the competition caution at lap 25. Keselowski and Chase Elliott took two tires, but they could still stay up front for the most part. The first incident of the day, when things were still getting crazy, was Jamie McMurray spinning out. He basically got tapped by Kurt Busch. It was mostly the air, but Kurt still made an aggressive move, and Jamie slid to the apron and then back up into the wall. He tried to re-enter the race, but couldn't really make it, so he retired. And then we had the train. It got strung out again, and everyone just waited, and they waited too long. They all tried to make something happen on the final lap, and they wadded them up. Big wreck started when I think it was Kyle Larson was pushing Kurt Busch, and Kurt made a move before Larson was ready, so Larson just tucked in behind Jimmy Johnson and got him sideways, and Kyle Busch piled in, Casey Kane, Chase Elliott, and I don't know for sure if they threw the caution, but Keselowski was ahead, and he won either way. Ford's got 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. So that was pretty impressive. The Ford's still strong at plate tracks, but pretty disappointing second half, and especially the finish. So just moving into the ratings, all that considered, I think I'll still give it a 6, just because the racing was so exciting in the first half. I just wish they could have closed it out better, but that's plate racing. You never know what's going to happen. Tyler.
I'm going to go right down the middle, 5 out of 10. Simple as that. It was half of something delicious and half bullshit. So, yeah. And it's unfortunate that it couldn't have been swapped around, and the bullshit happened first, and then the greatness happened at the end, and I wouldn't be giving it a 5 out of 10. But that's unfortunately what happened. So, that's it. Kane, what's your race rating?
5 out of 10 for me, too. You know, Tyler said it best. There's just nothing much to say about it. The first half of the race, amazing. And Nick said, the best plate racing we've seen in a long time, and then they had to form the big choo-choo up on the high side, and nobody could get a run down low. It's just, that's not fun, man. It's just not fun. So 5 for me.
All right, now it's time to get into some topics for the race weekend and things that have happened kind of a little bit before the race, and it's going to affect potentially a majority of the season. The first one will be a very stupid engine rule that has all of a sudden popped up out of nowhere. They weren't very specific on this, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the entire year or not, but at least will be in effect for the Daytona 500 and Atlanta. It's as follows. If a team changes an engine in a primary car at Daytona, it not only starts at the rear for qualifying in the Daytona 500, but also for the next race at Atlanta. That only occurs if it is the primary car. If a team crashes, it can put a backup engine in its backup car and just start at the rear at Daytona. So this rule is stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. It's baffling. Why would an engine failure or anything from one weekend affect the next weekend? Why? That's a way too harsh of a penalty. Makes no sense. What the hell, NASCAR?
No, it's confusing. It's unnecessary. They're doing it in an attempt to save costs. We don't even know if it'll work. And just like I've said it, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. They're giving all these suspensions and fines and stuff for, the engine could blow accidentally. It's not like they're trying to do anything fishy or stupid. Like, just things happen. It's racing, and they're just punishing these guys for little things. They're way too tight on the rule book. I mean, there's just way too much going on. Just let them use whatever engines they want and race. God dang it.
My thoughts on this whole thing, it's stupid. Why do you need to affect somebody one weekend and the next weekend? Just affect them for that weekend only, okay?
Simply put.
Exactly.
And I that's really just the best way to describe it. You really can't go any further on that. It's just a stupid rule. I don't want it to happen, but if it's going to, hopefully it's just for these first 2 weekends, and then it just flies into obscurity and you never think about it again. Our next topic is centered around a race team, and that's BK Racing. The topic specifically is, why won't they die? They owe approximately $8 million to the bank. They've had assets seized. They've had haulers auctioned off on the auction block. But yet what happened? They still made it to Daytona with a car with no sponsor and initially no driver until Greg Galding's check cleared. And now they're going to be in the Daytona 500 because there was only 40 cars set for qualifying. Everybody made it. They start last. And who knows what their participation in the Daytona 500 will be. We'll yet to find out. But the question at hand, again, why won't they die? These teams sucks. They owe money constantly. The fucking owner is a tax evasion fucking prick. Why do they still exist?
I mean, I saw some. It might be just to do some start and parking to pay their bills, but at the same time, it costs money to even enter in practice and get a car ready and everything. So, I mean, nothing with this team makes sense anymore. They should have died like 5 freaking years ago. They were never gonna get anywhere. I mean, they kept getting some drivers to drive for them that were up-and-comers, and they're all out. They faded away. I mean, like, that's where drivers go to die, it seems. This is just a sad team that just won't go away.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is. I mean, this is like some ARCA level shit. I see a lot of team owners in ARCA who don't pay their taxes and shit, and their teams get shut down by the bank. But damn, I never thought a Cup team would get to that level, and here we are with BK Racing. Obviously, Ron Devine is a dirtbag. I mean, as we can pretty much all agree at this point. And obviously, I feel sorry for Tyler because, he had to work for them a number of years ago. Don't know if you all knew that.
Yeah, seriously. It took me 6 months to get a check, but I got a check. He tried to fuck me out of that, and we said no thank you. I don't take fuckings, I give the fuckings. So, yeah, BK Racing could suck a dick. Who knows really what their future is? Again, Nick said it best, because it takes money to get there. Not only in travel expenses, but also in license renewals. Who knows if they have pit crew members, if they're even paying their pit crew members. Obviously, they don't like to pay employees, so who knows what their deal is. They just won't go away. They're a nuisance out there. They'll probably cause a goddamn wreck. It's just best for them to just pull off and go and park and not even be in the damn race. Seriously, it's not worth it. So just let them get their money. Let them, they're the laughing stock team. I mean, for Christ's sake, Starcom Racing has come in and is now outperforming them. And they are like 3 races old. So good for those guys. At least they have stability.
Not to mention Ricky Benton Racing, which is making their Cup debut this weekend with David Gilliland behind the wheel.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a receptionist and people that actually get paid, unlike BK. Mm-hmm. Dumbasses.
I mean, there's small teams that are great and does their job, and then there's BK Racing that gives them a bad name.
Perfectly said.
Yep.
All right, now it's time to hand out some awards for the Advanced Auto Parts Clash at Daytona. And leading it off, we have a very familiar award returning from last year. Nick, what is it?
It is the Mick Weapon. Yeah, Jamie McMurray was back at it again. This wreck wasn't really his fault, but he was still the only one involved. So we'll just say it was his fault because it's Jamie and it's plate racing, and that's what he does. Got turned by Kurt Busch and hit the wall, and I mean that's basically it. You know, we'll see what he does in the 500. Hopefully he doesn't cause like 2 big ones again. He's a great guy, great driver. Just, I don't know, plate tracks just don't seem to be his thing anymore. Next award.
All right, our next award is another award that returns from last season. The first time this year, it's the Straight Jacket Award! And to nobody's surprise, it goes to NASCAR. Because they screwed Ricky Stenhouse Jr. out of a great finish today after he passed Kyle Busch below the yellow line going down the back straightaway, but he was forced down there by Kyle Busch, but NASCAR didn't see that, and they forced Ricky to come down pit road and serve a drive-through penalty, and he finished a lap down in 16th. Man, this call really salted a lot of people on Twitter, including, some guy named Dale Earnhardt Jr. who called out Steve O'Donnell for his BS. He's like, God damn it, Steve, this rule, you gotta change this rule, God damn it, I wouldn't be talking about it. And that guy got into a little powwow on Twitter, but I think it's all good between them now. But seriously, even if Dale Jr. is pissed off about this, you know you screwed up. I mean, NASCAR, if Dale Jr.'s upset, you must be freaking crazy! God damn it! Next award.
The next award is Chugga Chugga Choo Choo, and that goes to the entire 2018 Advanced Auto Parts Clash field. All 17 of you, even you, Jamie McMurray, Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, who got filtered out, Brian Newman got lost a draft, Ricky Stenhouse with a bullshit penalty. I don't care. You were still involved. You guys played some sort of a role in the Chugga Chugga Choo Choo that happened after lap 39 onwards to the finish of the race. What in the fuck was that? It's okay to do it at one point in the race, but doing it for the entire remaining 30 plus laps and having a finish that anticlimactic? You can't just wait till the last lap and then try to form some half-ass run on the bottom. And then people are like, oh, are you going to go down it? Oh, shit, where am I going to go? Hold my line. And then they don't move anyways. Seriously, you can't race like that. Make a move a couple laps prior, or at least try to get something set up. I'm sure a couple of guys tried, but to no avail, and they didn't really try hard enough, okay? It falls on everybody. Maybe not the top 3, because they were just doing their job and holding their own, but still, that was ridiculous. Stop it. I don't like choo-choo. Next award.
All right, next award. Forget Lowe's for pros. This is Lowe's for DNFs.
He's got a run on the 48, Jimmy Johnson.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti.
Jimmy Johnson has had 7 straight Clash DNFs. Let that sink in for a minute. That's one for each championship he has. That is terrible. I mean, he's not finished a Clash since 2011. I mean, that is the worst luck. I know this race doesn't count, but that is something else. I don't know how that happens. Like, he's just in the wrong position, or he makes a mistake. I don't know. But nothing has gone right since 2011. I don't even know where he finished in that race. But oh man, he should just not even enter next year. This is just terrible. It's embarrassing, really. Hopefully he does better in the 500, because he needs something to go right after that race.
And that is it for the awards. Great job, everyone.
Yee.
I'm kind of sad that we don't have a crying towel, though. But trust me, we're going to have one soon enough. It's wonder Kyle didn't cry. He was surprisingly content in his interview. I was proud of him.
Well, we remember the Clash last year. How could anyone be that stupid?
Oh, Kyle, you big baby.
All right, that felt good.
You gotta go catch the dumb son of a bitch, or whatever he said.
Bowman the showman against Rowdy Busch for second. They bang, they touch. Busch second, Bowman third.
I just don't understand how people can be so stupid. If you push me to go catch the dumb son of a bitch, you have a shot to win. If you pass me, you eliminate your entire shot to win. You can't be that stupid.
Yeah.
Baby Kyle throwback 2017. Alrighty, since it's just a clash, we're gonna keep it very simple for paint schemes. So let's take a look at the first. Whoa! Sexual green. Whoa! You're back.
Wow!
Whoa!
Look at that green.
I'd like to sex that up.
You damn right. I'll be right there teabagging it with you.
As
Oh
Kimmy
my
watches
God.
through the window.
That's right, you know I will.
You know, I will watch that green, and I'll tell you what, I'll put it right on the green, because that's a sexy green. Thank you, Kimmy.
But at the
Thank
same
you.
time, the design is terrible.
The fucking, yes. That is an awful, plain, just uninspired design. Fucking racing stripes. I mean, it's matte black and it looks cool, but that doesn't belong in a Mountain Dew car. Mountain Dew. Fuck you.
That's a mountain don't.
You damn right that's a Mountain Dew. Ugh. Thank God they got one of their races out of the way. I seriously just know. I'm sorry. And you know what?
Yep.
That number on the side. Yeah, the green looks good, but it really does not stand out at all. It almost camouflages it on the racetrack. I mean, a good picture of it might make it stand out a little bit, but when it's going around the racetrack and during that race, I couldn't really tell the number. I didn't like
Oh,
it.
the font sucks too.
Eh,
I
well,
don't like that font.
you don't like the font?
No. Looks
It's
like an
alright.
in-game one on NASCAR 15.
Yeah, it's kind of true. You're
It
kind of
does.
right on that. I don't know. I don't really hate it, but I mean, I understand the genericness of it. So, yeah, it's a shame. But you know, Hendrick Motorsports doesn't get it right very often with paint schemes, so we're not really surprised.
And speaking of which, oh, that was impressive, Kane. I mean, I really
That's
felt
twice I've thrown up now.
Holy shit, that car is terrible. We're gonna shit on it bad next week. That's just the start. Ficus!
Well, now it's a computer. We're pissing on their computers because
Yeah.
why would they even use Photoshop or Illustrator? You shouldn't have your mouth stupid.
We're taking away your Photoshop key access, bitch. No!
Yeah.
No! I will piss on your hard drive and watch it fry. No! Alrighty, now it's time to make some picks for the Daytona 500. And we're going to go in reverse order from our championship finish from last year. So that means Damani the champion will go last. And poor old fourth place Kane will go first. So Kane, you have the very first pick of the year. Who are you taking to win the Great American Race?
Well, knowing it's a restrictor plate race, it most likely will be coming from the Ford camp. And I'm going to take the man who has pretty much been the man to beat at plate tracks the past few years. That is Brad Keselowski.
Yay!
There's nothing much else to say about him other than he's one of the best plate racers of this generation, or at least that's what Dale Jr. thinks, and he should know. And I'll take his word any day. So Brad K is my pick.
Okay, I'm up next. I'm going to pick Chase Elliott. Yep, I called it kind of last year, at the end of the year, thinking maybe not quite calling it, but in the sense of he didn't win a race in the 24, and now he'll win his very first race in the 9. No, the clash doesn't count. Don't even fucking go there. But he was strong in this race today. And he was making moves. He looked like a classic junior out there. Just unfortunately got shuffled and became a victim of the choo-choo and, you know, got wrecked because he was in the fury of the storm. But I think if he can run a clean race, he ran a really good Daytona 500 last year after his unfortunate debut in 2016. And he was damn close to winning that race. We can't forget that until fuel problems kept him from doing so. So I think Chase Elliott, third time's a charm, third season's a charm. It's time for him to win. He's my pick. Nick?
All right, good choice. My pick, I think if the Fords aren't going to be dominant, it's going to be the Toyotas. And I think the best one of the bunch for plate tracks is Denny Hamlin.
You're fucking high! Are you out of your mind?
He's going to win his second Daytona 500, even though I don't really want him to. But I think he'll be pretty strong.
Fair enough.
That's it.
And our champion, Damani, he's still not here to say anything for himself. But his pick will be right here.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Well, this has been another episode of Behind the Wall presented by Perky Jerky. We hope you enjoyed it, and we also hope you enjoy the 2018 season. Let's get it started off right. For my partners in crime, Pro Bowl 43, he joins leagues part-time and then pisses him off. For Kane Jr. 88, he probably has a beer somewhere, if not in his hand right next to him. And for Damani, will he ever come out of the grave? We will soon find out. I don't know. And for myself, Thermite 917, you know, I'm just the best there is. I piss excellence. So, regular season champion. Again, this has been Behind the Wall. You've been behind the wall. And thank you for listening.
Very good. Fuck your mom. Oh, why did I say that? I think I said fuck your mom. That was bad. I didn't want to say that. That just came out.
I didn't even hear that.
I think I did.
All right. My voice hasn't damn it.
And another award returning from next season, or last season, right, my bad.
Coming from the future.
Redo it. Redo it.
Yeah.
Redo it. I don't want it to exist, but if it's going to, hopefully it's just for these 2 weekends, and then that's it, and then you just forget about it and it goes into obscurity. What the what?
I'm gonna close your door. Don't let me have it till I close your door.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Shut up, damn it!
Whoa! Ah!